Chapter 50 Swimming with the Stars, June 2008. Swimming and coaching in Corsham, Trowbridge, Melksham and Bath was good, and I enjoyed all of it. But when Adrian took me to my friend Sonia Bush's house, I knew that something wonderful was about to happen. We sat down with a cup of tea, and Colin Bush, the ex-coach of the successful Chippenham Town Football Club, chaired the meeting. He started off by talking about motivation and asked me about what I wanted to do with the swimming. I still had the strokes. I was still very good, and I could be the best in the world, and all we needed was the correct coaching to readjust the efforts of a 10-year break from swimming and to get me fit. Colin went through the options. 1. I could remain at Corsham ASC, travelling miles to each of the pools, fitting in my swims around my work, trying to find the pool time available around a 40-hour working week. Or I could move to Swansea. Swansea? Swansea was 1,000,000 miles away. Colin and Sonia told me that in Swansea I would have a wonderful coach and be with swimmers of my ability, and that I would be able to realise all of my dreams. They were very inspiring, as they had been since I first met them while still very sick. They convinced me totally that even though I had to leave my home, my boyfriend, my mum, my dog, and my friends, it would be worth it in the end. There were no available spaces at my home club in Bath because I was disabled. I was very excited about the move to Wales. Billy Pye, the coach for the disability squad in Swansea, had arranged originally for me to stay in a bed and breakfast with a lovely couple called Richard and Mel James, who were very sweet. I paid them the £40 per night, and they treated me as a daughter. They were very friendly and incredibly kind. Billy arranged for me to move into a house owned by Wells Swimming and told me that the coach, who normally stays there, had agreed that I should stay there for free for the 7 weeks prior to the Paralympics. Wow! Everything seemed so easy and so well planned, as though this was the only option available, because it was so well organised. I didn't think about how much it would cost me eventually, or whether I was going to swim in Wales after Beijing 2008. I didn't question whether I was staying or going. It was already written in the stars. I was meant to be swimming in Swansea. I was meant to be swimming with the stars. The move went well and the training was very hard, but I loved every minute. I called Adrian many times a day, telling him about the sessions and about the swimmers at Swansea, and about Billy, who seemed to have a telepathic instinct and knew exactly what I needed. I missed everybody, but the determination to be the best was strong, and I was excited about the prospect of being the swimmer from 1998 again, before I got sick. Just imagine if I beat those times. Just imagine if I get a lifetime personal best. I was realising my dreams. I was going to the Olympic Games. My main training partner, Dave Roberts, has been doing it for 12 years, got the CBE, got the medals. He had done it all before. Dave is an interesting individual who seems to know everything about different sports, and he discusses these with Billy on many occasions. When I first came over to Swansea Performance Centre, he knows exactly what he is doing, and he knows he is the best at what he does. He would call out the start time for me even if he swam in on the last second. This helps, as when I swim hard, my eyesight gets worse, and I suffer with my eyes jumping back and forth, up and down, and I struggle to see the clock. Dave called out the times: 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. This was much needed, and I learnt to almost rely on it. I thought of Dave as a big, soft, cuddly toy. If I needed a friend, he would be a friend. If I needed £1 for the lockers, he would lend me £1. If I needed to discuss swimming competitions, he would know the date, the location, and the time. He was very organised, and whenever I struggled with memory problems, Dave was the answer to my prayers. Also training at the same time as me and Dave were Ellie Simmons, Matt Warwood, Liz Johnson, Gareth Duke, Ant Stevens, Jenny Coughlin, and Graham Edmonds. Each has a disability of their own, and each has a story that would amaze millions. Gareth Duke is quite a remarkable person. Due to complications with his kidneys, he has to undergo dialysis treatment 3 times a week. Whenever I see Gareth, he always smiles and is so extremely positive about his life and about his swimming. Having had 6 months off for medical treatments, Gareth came back with more vigour and fight than I have seen in anyone else. His strive to be as good as possible remains apparent, and daily he has to act twice his age. He has to consider things that he is far too young to consider. He is an intelligent person, and I hope he will always remain well. Graham Edmonds has been a definite help for me because of his extremely positive and motivational attitude to life. If you are feeling sorry for yourself, you just need to say hi to Gray and he will make you smile again. I respected his help immensely, and I hope to stay his friend for a long time, and I am certain that anyone who has ever met Graham will long for his friendship and his strength. When I am swimming a very hard threshold or heart rate set, Graham will see me struggling and will give me some comforting words, making me strive for faster times and better consistency. He is a thoughtful person, and with the strength that he conveys, he is very powerful. I long to have his confidence and sure-footed approach to life. And when he voices his opinion, the words are usually inspiring. On many occasions when Graham sees me struggling, he will swim next to me to try to get the fight back in me to keep me going. This is something I will be forever thankful for. When I win medals, it will be partially down to Graham for the inspiration, partially down to Dave for calling out the times and for his excellence in his sport, partially down to Gareth for his strength and determination, and very much down to Billy, my wonderful coach. Billy is fantastic. He knows everything about swimming and everything about swimming fast. I ask him the smallest question, and he will give me a 40-page documentary about why we do that and how this and why we will do that and what will help that and how it will help the stroke and why it has that effect. Billy looked up every aspect of my illness, multiple sclerosis, before he first met me, and he knew I could have balance problems, eyesight problems, spasticity, or speech problems. He had looked for anything that might go wrong. He knew about my illness probably better than me. When I first met Billy, he seemed like a very strong young man with the whole world in his hands. He was very determined to make me who I wanted to be. He is inspiration in itself, as he can make anybody good. He can see the mistakes instantly, and he has cunning ways to correct them. Billy said straight away how good my strokes were, and he asked me how fast I used to swim. 1 minute 5 seconds .18 for 100 meters backstroke when I was 15 years old. Billy listens to the copies of my songs, and he watched the DVD that Stephen Brown had created for me about my fight with MS and my desire to be the best in the pool. Billy was interested in my life, in my fight, in everything I had been through with the MS. I felt important, as though the self-confidence I had lost so severely while aged only 17 would start rebuilding itself again. Swimming here in Swansea, I felt complete, as though I had to go through all that pain to get this wonderful thing at the end. Like childbirth, I suppose. The mother has to go through all that pain, but they get the wonderful baby at the end. The pain is almost worth it. In my life, swimming with the stars and being loved by Adrian and my family and friends makes my pain worth it. As part of the Great Britain team, I was monitored quite a lot more, and I had to produce a spreadsheet every week, which I then had to send to a select number of staff members. The spreadsheet contained my swim session plans and total meterage, and it told of details about my strength and conditioning, my S&C sessions. At the bottom of the spreadsheet, it had details about my races I had recently swam, and I had to record my times and whether they were a PB time or not. These spreadsheets, log sheets, were a useful way of seeing how far I swam every week, and if I wanted to see which sessions I swam just before I raced an amazing time, it is a simple way of checking. I also had to complete a different form of spreadsheet for drug testing, where I had to select 1 hour out of every single day that I must be available for drug testing. Most athletes use one of their training sessions as this hour, as it is an easy location to record. I often use my swim sessions as my drug testing slot. If I am not swimming on a certain day, I have to select an easy time in a simple location. For example, dinner time at my home, which I know I will not be snoozing and therefore have the chance of missing the doorbell or getting a missed test. We are only allowed 2 missed tests, which is when the drug tester turns up at your slot, but you, for whatever reason, are not there. The third time will mean a ban. In return for completing these spreadsheets, I am offered some money from UK Sport and the National Lottery. This funding is called the APA, Athlete Personal Award. UK Sport distributes lottery funding through the World Class Performance Programme to help our best and most talented athletes achieve podium success at the Olympic and the Paralympic Games. Athletes are nominated for support by their governing body of their sport. This is a combination to the living and personal sport costs incurred while training and competing as an elite athlete. The APA application process is managed by UK Sport. Nominated athletes receive an application form which must be completed in full and returned promptly. An offer letter will then be sent out if you qualify for an award. The exact amount of the APA will vary depending on your performance category and of any other income that you receive. Each APA is offered for a maximum of 12 months. If you are nominated again at the end of an award period, you will need to complete a new application form. Completing the spreadsheets and receiving an APA is such an exciting reminder that I am part of the Great Britain swimming team. I am part of the GBR swimming team and training with the stars. I am doing what I want to do, and I'm doing it even though I have MS.